Google has just published an official guide on how to optimize for AI search, and when you read what they actually say, a lot of those AI optimization pitches you've been getting fall apart pretty quickly. AEO, GEO, LLM, text files, the works. Google's own documentation says most of that is a lie. If you've been in business for a while, been marketing for a while, how many times in the past decade have you been told that everything in marketing has changed? You need to act quickly. We had mobile optimization as everything, and then it was voice searches taking over, and now it's AI search, and the terms keep multiplying. AEO, GEO, generative engine optimization, answer engine optimization. Vendors are building entire service packages around acronyms that did not exist 2 years ago. What's different this time is Google has actually published a direct official guide on how to optimize for their AI search features. Not a blog post, not a spokesperson quote, an official documentation page from Google Search Central, updated in May 2026. And what they say in it should change how you respond the next time someone tries to sell you an AI optimization package. Here's what you need to understand first. Google's AI features, the AI overviews, and AI mode results, they don't run on a separate system. They don't have their own special index that you need special access to. Google's AI pulls from the same search index that has powered regular results for years. The technical term they use is retrieval augmented generation, which is a mouthful, but the concept is simple. The AI reads from the existing index and summarizes what it finds to answer a query. Those pages got into the index the same way they always did, by being crawlable, by being indexable, and by being relevant to what someone is searching for. So if you've been doing the fundamentals right, good content on your site, an active Google business profile, consistent reviews from real customers, you're already building toward AI search visibility. You're not starting over, you're not behind. The foundation you've been building is exactly what Google's AI is reading. One thing worth mentioning before we continue on, Google's own documentation is a useful starting point, but it may not be 100% the truth. In 2024, internal Google algorithm documents were leaked, and what they revealed contradicted things Google had said publicly for years. Things like using Chrome browsing data to influence rankings and a site-wide authority score they'd previously denied having. None of that means today's guide is wrong. The fundamentals it points to hold up. But with Google, the right tactic has always been trust but verify. Read what they say, apply what makes sense, and let your actual results tell you the rest. Now let's get into what Google calls out as not worth your time. These are tactics that are being sold now as AI optimization, and Google's own documentation says you can ignore them. The first is llms.txt files. Vendors are telling contractors they need special files on their website so AI systems can read their content better. Google says directly you don't need to create new machine-readable files, AI text files, or special markup to appear in generative AI search, so you can skip it. The second is chunking your content just for AI. The idea here is that you should break your website pages into small pieces so that AI can process them more easily. Google says their systems are built to understand full pages just fine. There's no requirement to restructure your website around how AI prefers to read. Right for your customers, not for a crawler. The third is writing your content in AI-friendly language. A pitch that says you need to have specific phrasing, certain keyword patterns, or content written in a way that AI systems will favor. Google says their AI system understands synonyms and general meaning. So whether you're a plumber, an HVAC, a landscaper, you don't need to capture every possible variation of how someone might search for your service. So again, just write like a human. And the fourth here is chasing brand mentions across the web. Some consultants are suggesting that getting your business name dropped on as many sites as possible builds AI authority, and they suggest doing so by any means possible. Now, the documentation here isn't saying mentions are bad. It recognizes that Google and generative AI features can show what's been mentioned across the web about a topic in blogs, videos, and forums. The problem here is spammy, inauthentic mentions. Google treats inauthentic mentions the same way it treats link spam. Their systems are built to catch it. What actually counts are earned mentions from real customers, real press, and real community relationships. If a vendor is out there selling you packages built around any of these four things, that's a red flag. So here's what Google says does matter, and none of it should be a surprise if you've been paying attention. Number one is content that is a real point of view. Google specifically flagged what they call commodity content, the type of generic tips and posts that could have been written by anyone, as the kind of content that AI systems are less likely to surface. What stands out here is first-hand experience, real expertise, the stuff that comes from actually doing the work for years, not just reading about it online. So whether you're an electrician, a GC, a painter, The job knowledge that you bring to your content is something that a generic template can never replicate. That's one of the reasons we talk so much about IPPs, those individual project posts and mini case studies. You need a website that Google can actually find and crawl. This is not exciting. This is a prerequisite for everything else. If Google can't properly index your site, there's no amount of content work that fixes your visibility. We're talking about the structure here. A fast, well-structured website is not optional. It's just what you need to be in the game at this point. And this one is really important, your Google business profile. Google's own AI optimization guide calls this out directly as a path for visibility in AI responses for local businesses, not just traditional search results. So, a fully built out, actively maintained Google business profile is still one of the highest leverage moves a local contractor can make. Notice anything here? These aren't new ideas. These are the fundamentals that have driven search results for years, and that's the whole point of this. If you find free tips to help make understanding your business and marketing easier like this are valuable, if you could real quick, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Doing any one of those things will make sure you see more content like this when we publish it in the future. So knowing all of this, here's a few traps you can now avoid. Number one is buying a new AI optimization package before you've done a solid job with the basics. If your website is thin content, your Google business profile is half finished, you're still working on getting reviews consistently, adding an AI layer on top of that, on top of a weak foundation, is not going to help you. So before you spend money on something new and shiny, make sure what you already have is actually working. The second here is treating AI search like a completely separate channel that needs its own strategy and its own budget. It is not a separate channel, it's an extension of search, built on the same system. Vendors who position it as a totally separate thing are often finding a way to charge you twice for work that should already be included. And the third one, assuming that you haven't done anything specifically for your AI, means you're falling behind. If you've been publishing useful content, keeping your site up to date, maintaining your Google business profile, generating real reviews, you have not been sitting still. You've been building exactly what AI search rewards. So don't let someone convince you that everything you've built up to this point doesn't count anymore. If you need help figuring out all of this, making sense of AI, SEO, your online marketing foundation, and getting found on Google, including the AI search results, the pros at FootbridgeMedia are always ready to help. Learn more about why thousands of contractors and home service pros just like you rely on FootbridgeMedia's contractor marketing services by visiting us online at FootbridgeMedia.com.